May you be blessed with an ever-expanding life.
Hi, this is Billy from Ever Expanding Life. Welcome to Full Body Mannequin Part 2, the upper body. Today we're going to show you how we constructed the upper body portion of our full body mannequin. We hope you find this helpful. If you do, please drop a like, share, and subscribe. In Part 1, we created the lower body portion of our mannequin. Just like with the lower body, we're going to use thermal underwear as our base layer. Now, in order to make sure that the top matches up at the right spot with the bottom, we're going to do some measurements from the floor to the bottom of the shirt, and we're going to mark that on the mannequin so that everything lines up and matches my dimensions. Now, to help prevent error, because this shirt could shift and get out of position, we're going to mark where the shirt lays against my pants. That way our line will be consistent even as we start to take things off. So now we have our reference line. We're going to transfer this line to the mannequin. Okay, measure the distance between the feet. Okay, now start the measurements to the shirt. Yeah. Now it's time to tape. We're going to start by taping the edges so that we have a sandwiched edge. Do the collar first. It's okay, if it pulls up, you just add to the body. It's better that it pulls into the body, because the more you stretch it, the more it's going to try to stretch back when you take it off. It's better to just let it fall. Okay, do the center line. Go ahead and finish the bottom. Still breathe. Explain how with the judge.
Honestly, he wanted to be a mummy.
We'll need to make sure we run it across the other directions, because there's one of the issues with that they can pull apart at the seams. We don't want them to be able to pull apart. Pretty good.
And obviously, I'll have to tuck in some of this stuff,
We'll have to extend some of that.
I'll have to extend some of that again.
It's okay. Now we're going to start the collar. We want to extend this up the neck to some degree, because later we're going to make the head of the mannequin. So we want to have something to attach the head to. Good to know my neck is good for something. Alright, this probably needs to have a bunch of down cuts so that the main material can lay here and around Pretty good.
Alright.
All right, arm me.
You're starting to look like a space guy.
I'm starting to feel like a space guy.
Did I do it again?
No, circulation.
Too
In
tight?
here, it's too tight. It's cutting off the circulation in my hand. Just finish the arm, and then we can cut it. You want a line with a zigzag of my forearm, the inside of the forearm, that you can cut. Just do it up to the elbow. That's all I need right now. I just need that loose. Try your cut line. Yeah, I can feel it already. Why'd you get the other scissors? Get them both. The orange ones are in my sewing box, and the surgical. The surgical one.
It's got a lot of slack in it still.
Roll down now. Yeah, you definitely took the slack out of the other one.
Oh, you wanted it form fitting.
Yes.
Don't ask me to form fit if you don't want me to form fit.
I ask you to form fit if I want circulation.
Right. Precisely. And that cut
No,
first.
it doesn't have my circulation cut off. Okay. We want to be sure to reinforce along our cut lines so that the other pieces don't come apart. I need a up and down piece from the base of my neck down my back. Thank the Lord we have done the taping. I think we're ready to get this off. Crystal's drawing zigzags to help with the lining up process when we put it back together. And she's marking her cut line. Take those up under to the armpit. Yeah. Okay, let's see if it'll come loose from the shoulder here. Pull my sleeves. Okay, now we cut the sleeves. Thank the Lord. It took us 6 hours to do the taping. So we're going to build the inside frame and do all that intricate work another day. However, so that this doesn't lose its shape, we're going to tape it back up and stuff it for now. I'm going to line the zigzags back up and tape it back together. Then I'm folding the tape over so it'll be easier to take off. Because I'm going to have to get back in these arms and back and everything. Now I'm going to start stuffing the arms, and we're using stuffing from that same old futon mattress that we used to stuff the legs. Anything like me? Okay, we're back again. I'm going to start today by taking some of the stuffing out of the torso. I'm going to get this hung up. I've suspended a board from the ceiling, and I'm going to hang the torso by its shoulders for now. Now we're going to turn our attention to the lower body. I'm going to stuff this to make sure it's the shape I want it to be. We're going to cut a piece of plywood as a base that will connect the two parts together. I'm going to start by making a template of it in cardboard. I have to fine-tune it a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little smaller, and I can pad the edges. Okay, that's pretty good. It's just a little bit smaller all the way around. I'm transferring the pattern to a piece of 1/2-inch plywood. Okay, so we cut that out with the jigsaw. That will do nicely. Let's double this up. I'll make another one. I'm going to mount the first level of the plate to the bottom. Now I got to see where the upper spine's going to fall. Got the torso suspended from the ceiling. Now I can estimate where the inner spine needs to go. Shoulder support is too wide. Okay, I've trimmed the boards down a little bit so the shoulders fit a little better. I'm going to mount the 2x4 about center of the platform inside. I'm going to attach the second level of the platform to the spine. There we go. Now we're going to attach those together. Now I need to figure out the width of the shoulder structure and the approximate height. I can fine-tune the position once I build the piece that goes on before I fasten it in place. I'm going to err on the side of narrow because I can always build it up. So I'm going to start with a 1 foot wide area. I'm going to detach the upper spine so I can work with this laying down. So my basic plan, if this is the 2x4 center, I'm going to add a little piece of 2x2 off of each side. I'm going to reinforce that on both sides. Then I'm going to cut a piece of plywood for front and back that is the shape of this. That will sandwich it all in and hold it together. Okay, so I've got the 2x2s cut. And that's the basic idea. Now I have to cut 2 pieces of plywood to sandwich that all together. Okay, I've attached 2 screws to each of the boards. I have not attached it to the center spine so it'll come off. Here's what it looks like. Right now it's movable. I need to attach the other side of this. There we go. And that's still movable. So we can adjust that part to the height we need it. Okay, now I have the inner spine and shoulders attached to the base, and we're going to put the skin of the torso on without hanging it from the ceiling this time. Okay, so now I need to fine-tune the position of the shoulders so that it holds the body how I want it to. Now I also need to make sure that the shoulders are going to line up with where the arms are going to attach. So I may need to push it a little lower and support the upper part with some padding. Alright, so I'm going to make sure that the top is attached at the connection line that we marked along the lower section. I'm going to put some padding on top of the shoulders. Okay, going to put one set screw in here to hold this in place. I'm still going to need to take care of the arms, but this is about all I'm going to do for today. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff up the torso to help it hold its shape until we come back. Remember to line up the zigzags as you go. Alright, it's coming together pretty good. I'm going to put a few reinforcement pieces across the seam to make sure that she don't come apart. Okay, so it now has the inner spine and shoulders in place, and we'll come back another day to take the next step. The mannequin won't be usable until the arms are movable. So the next step is to determine the separation cut on the arms from the torso, and then to articulate the arms. Okay, shoulders are marked. Now I'm going to reinforce along the mark lines and remark. Time for separation. Okay, he's now disarmed. So if you look in here, you can see that this is the side of our shoulder support. Right here. We're going to mount a piece of plywood to this, the shape of our hole. I've cut a cardboard template, a little smaller than the hole. That'll give me a good beginning base to attach to. The way I'm planning out the shoulder joint, it's going to be a multi-layered joint. 5 pieces of plywood for each part, 2 in the arm and 3 in the shoulder. So I've done some rough cut pieces. I'm not worried about making them perfect. There's going to be 2 this size for each shoulder and 1 this size. For each arm there's going to be 2 this size. Okay, I'm going to show you how they all fit together in here in a second. Now, the 4 pieces I haven't cut out yet need a little extra work. And it's safer to do that while they're still part of the board. So I lined up one piece from the arm with the other and drilled a pilot hole. But now I need to make a bigger hole in this one. For the outside part of the arm, I'm going to be using a lag bolt for a pin. One hole is large enough for the head to go completely through. And the other one is smaller than the lag bolt, so that I can screw it into it. Okay, so that's the first part of the arm section. So the basic idea is this will be the pin that holds the arm on. It will mount to this piece, which mounts in the arm. The shoulder will be 3 pieces. One like this, but it's going to need another cut in it. A small piece, and another larger piece. The pin piece will slide into the shoulder, into this, this, like that. Now the next part of this is to figure out the locking pin, and that's why this is shaped like this, because we're going to use another lag bolt that we're going to mount into this one in the other direction, like this. And the head of it's going to go through this one into this empty groove and be able to slide in a slot to a locking position. So now I have to figure out the proper placement of this lag for the locking bolt. This central piece of the shoulder will be the limit for how close the head of the lag can go to the center. So I'm going to mark my position away from that, and then I have to figure out the groove in the other board. So now I've drilled a hole far enough away that the head of the bolt will clear this center spacer. So now I'm going to put the lag bolt in backwards so that I can use the tip of it to mark its path on the board that's part of the shoulder. So the boards that I have not cut yet, they need to be marked. I drill the hole in the center, so I'm going to slide this into it and mark the board. Now I can mark for the groove. So those are the paths that we're going to cut. That's the idea. Okay, they're ready to cut out, so I'll jig those out now. Alright, now this should start to make more sense now. So now we put the lag bolt the other way. This is the outer plate from the shoulder. This will go in here this way. See? And turn to lock. Okay, now I have to adjust this to the right length. Alright. Complete clearance. Inner plate. So this is the basic shoulder mechanism. So now I'm going to start the installation process by marking where the pin is going to go in. It's going to extend into the shoulder board, so I'm going to have to drill this out a little bit. Using the pin to hold these together, I'm going to pilot the hole through all three of them at once. I want to start the holes in the mannequin using the bottom pilots. Now we're going to pre-assemble these parts. So now I should be able to attach this part. So the shoulder side attachment is already hooked in. This is the part that hooks to the arm. There's the attachment. Now I need to finish off this part. So the next step is figuring out how to create the arm bone that attaches from the shoulder plate down through the arm. We're going to use another 2x2 for this bone, but we're going to have to taper it so that it can mount at an angle and the arm is not completely straight. So we're going to have to create a bend in this board. I'm going to start by figuring out the taper. Okay, we're going to do a rough taper cut and see how close we are. Okay, after a couple attempts, I've found a good angle that positions the arm where I want it. Now I need to assess the forward angle and position. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach this part to the upper shoulder attachment. I'm going to separate these two pieces of the outer part of the shoulder. We're going to mount just the outer plate to the upper arm piece. I'm going to pre-drill some holes and then attach it. I have to drill a hole for this bolt because it's going to protrude through the board, which is fine because that'll give me some extra support here. Now it's time to put these parts back together. Now I'm going to pre-drill a couple more holes and attach these permanently together and then grind off any of the points of the screws that are protruding. There we go. Okay, there's the first part of the arm bone. But the arm isn't straight, so now we have to figure out where the twists and turns are and adjust the lower portion of the arm. So I'm going to unstuff the arm and I'm going to see how far off this arm bone actually is. Front to back, it's not too bad. From out to in, there's a little too much twist at the wrist that's preventing this board from lining up right. I'm going to make an angular cut here and then flip the board over and attach it to get my elbow angle for the forearm. With a slight offset, this cut, like this, compensates for part of the arm angle. I can compensate for the rest of the arm angle by misaligning them slightly. I'm going to put a central screw so that it can spin a little bit. Okay, so now the arm has some bend in it. It's not exactly where the elbow is, but it doesn't matter because there's play in the arm. That is perfect. So I've stuffed it up. Now I'm going to finish taping up the shoulder. That's pretty good. Now that the left arm's all complete, time to do the same thing on the other side, starting with detaching the arm. Right shoulder attachment point firmly attached. Right arm skeletal structure completed. Okay, the arm is all stuffed and sealed with removable strips of tape in case I need to adjust it. Alright. We still need to create the head and the hands to finish off our full body mannequin, but this completes part 2, the upper body. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please drop a like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, may you be blessed with an ever-expanding life.
Ever expanding life.